Hey there, Nostalgia Laners. It's Riley again, and we've got part two of the pickups extravaganza. This will be another just a quick recap of things that I've got. I want to do a separate episode for this one just because there's so much more stuff, and then I've recently picked up a few other things. So this will be part two, and there's a part three coming up, and it's my best pickup so far. So stay tuned for part three. This is part two. So here we go. Starting off here, let's go right into the most recent stuff, I guess. We'll just kind of jump around a little bit. So, the first thing we got here is the Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon on the Wii. It is in pretty rough shape. It's got some water damage on the label, and the disc does have, it's pretty scratched, and it looks like it's been resurfaced before. And it's got, I don't know, some kind of buildup on the top, but I got it for fairly cheap. So I'll probably just see if Terry will let me do some resurfacing. I do have some other discs that do need resurfaced as well. So maybe Terry will let me do some resurfacing in his game room sometime. So I know that this game on the PS3 and on the Xbox 360 is a pretty valuable game. I think it's most valuable on the PS3. I think it's upwards of $45 to $50. The Wii version and the PS2 version are the cheapest. It's about, I don't know, 15 to 20, I believe. But still, another Spyro game that I haven't played before. So I'll definitely, hopefully, pop this in and it works. After I get it all fixed up. You know, I think these games kind of dive a little more into the lore of Spyro, and I think they just seem to be a little darker. I don't know. I think that's really badass though. I've always loved Spyro. Spyro was one of the first PS1 games that I ever owned and played. I remember getting Spyro, man, when I got my PS1, my friend Brady, this will be a story time. My best childhood friend Brady, he had a PS1 and he ended up giving it to me. He just straight up gave it to me, and I had a few games with it. But I wanted a few more, so my grandma took me to a pawn shop, to a couple pawn shops. It was New to You. Yep, it was New to You that I remember I got this big old box of PS1 games, and Spyro was one of those. And ever since the first time I ever played it, Spyro has always been like one of my favorite games ever. So I don't know, this is always, when I see Spyro games, man, I always have to try and pick them up because Spyro just holds a pretty good spot in my heart. So yeah. Anyways, Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon. Next up, we've got a Paper Mario Color Splash. I got this at Walmart for $10. It was on clearance. Definitely check your Walmart clearance video game sections because you never know what's going to be in there. They had Paper Mario for $10. You can't beat that deal. It's still sealed too, which is cool. I'll probably keep it sealed maybe until I want to actually play it. I should have got 2 copies again. I ran into that situation with the PlayStation Classic. I don't know if I'll get another one or not. Anyways, we got Paper Mario Color Splash. I'm hoping they don't port this to the Switch. They've been porting so many Wii U originals to the Switch, and I think that's kind of taking a hit on the value of Wii U games. Which I guess it could go either way, since owning the Wii U version can be worth a little more than the Switch version. Because I know there are some games on the Genesis that are more valuable than on the Super Nintendo, but those aren't direct ports, they're just made for different systems. So I don't know. I know Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a good example. I don't own either copy of that, but I know the Super Nintendo version is worth quite a bit more than the Genesis version. Or maybe it's vice versa. But anyways, I'm just hoping they don't port this game to the Switch, because we gotta have some Wii U classics, and we gotta have we got to give some people reason to hold on to their Wii U. Otherwise, you know, people just won't enjoy the Wii U. So yeah, that'll be Paper Mario Color Splash for $10. Again, check your Walmart clearance sections, because I think there were a few other games in there too that I probably should have grabbed, but I don't know. I wanted to get this one. Alright, so next up, this is actually a really good pickup. And actually, it's some older stuff. I got a pretty good Sega Genesis lot. It's got, what, like 15 games, 16 games? I got all of these for $10. Most of them are complete, a couple loose ones. But it was a steal of a price. So, I'm just going to start grabbing and talking about it. We got Mickey's World of Illusion. I actually tried all of these out because I wanted to make sure that they were games that I would want to keep. I don't have much of a connection to the Sega Genesis because it was before my time, a lot like with the Super Nintendo. So I wanted to test them and see what ones I wanted to keep and which ones I didn't. Because otherwise I would have some good trade stuff for Terry. But I actually ended up keeping most of these games. I think the only one that I traded was Home Alone. So we got Home Alone, which I traded to Terry. We got, yeah, Mickey's World of Illusion. Tasmania, which I don't know. I don't like the mechanics in this game. I'm not sure if it's really even worth trading. I mean, I'll probably keep it if I know Terry has a copy. I remember looking at all of his Genesis games to see which ones he didn't have. But I saw this in there, and this case is in kind of rough shape. So, and the manuals. Man, look at that, though. I mean, I do like the artwork, though. I mean, the colors are nice and vivid and really cool looking. Man, that manual is rough. It is kind of a cool looking game. I just didn't like the mechanics of it. They're kind of clunky. And it seems like anything will kill Taz if you touch it. Even the water that shoots up. Like, I had a hard time waiting for the water to actually, like, stop moving to actually jump on it. Because I think while it's coming up and you jump on it, it'll kill you. But if it's stagnant and still, it doesn't kill you. So it just kind of takes some getting used to. And I remember the music is also synced to, like, your movements. So I think, like, the music only plays while you move, if I remember correctly. I'll probably have to give this one another try. But there's a Tasmania. We got SpiderMan XMen. Let's see, is this the fighting one? No, this isn't a fighting one. No, it's like classic, like side-scrolling kind of Spider-Man. I remember playing some Spider-Man beat-em-ups on arcade machines at Fuddruckers. So I've been kind of looking for more of these kind of games where, you know, you just pick them up and start going. Spider-Man XMen. The original Spider-Man. Jurassic Park. Kind of a little difficult right at the beginning. You gotta, you know, make sure you're using the right weapon that'll damage the right dinosaur. I had a hard time figuring that out, and like pretty much right off the bat you're getting chased by a T-Rex, I think. So yeah, it's definitely fairly challenging, but a good game, and I love the movies, so I'm definitely gonna keep this. We got Batman Returns. I think this is complete. Oh, nope. Just the cart and the case. I think I'm gonna have to, if I ever want to play like the Batman games, I'll probably have to get a CRT, like an old TV. Because, I don't know, the HDMI TV is just, they're so dark because it's like nighttime and it's really hard to kind of see what's going on. So I'll definitely have to give this one another try. Alongside Batman Returns, we got Batman the video game, which is actually fairly valuable. I think if it was complete, it'd be about $45. It's just missing the manual, so it's still, this whole lot was picked up for $10. So I'll definitely, you know, hold on to this unless you know, unless Terry would want to trade for it. I guess we'll figure that out later. Pretty much got a whole Sonic collection. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, just the case. He said that there was one game that he couldn't find, but he couldn't remember which one it was, and he didn't have the system either. So I'm assuming that when he lost the system or put it in storage or something, that Sonic 2 was still plugged in. That's the only thing that I can think of. So just the case of Sonic 2. Maybe Terry will trade me a loose copy of Sonic 2 if I ask nicely. And Sonic 3. I've got I actually have that in my Genesis right now, just kind of as a display thing and a dust protector. Man, Sonic for me is just so hard to get into because I'm used to like the Mario games where you know you can kind of slow down and you can take your time, it seems like. But with Sonic, you know, I guess that was their whole thing with the Genesis was, you know, it was completely different from Mario where you don't really have to worry about the collectibles and things, and you can just like run straight through a level and just see how fast you can get through it, kind of. So I don't know, I gotta give Sonic some more tries. I just can't get into Sonic for some reason. I also got a Justice League, a fighting game, kind of like, you know, Mortal Kombat style. It definitely felt pretty clunky. I don't know if it would just be this fighting game or if all fighting games on the Genesis are this clunky. I think this was the only fighting game that I picked up. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get good at this one. I don't know how many other people actually play Justice League Task Force, but I don't know if it has like some kind of cult following or anything like that, but still fun. Wonder Woman looks pretty attractive there, I will say. Funny. Some loose copies. We've got XMen 2 and Greatest Heavyweights, which actually is pretty cool. It's like a classic fighting game. I think sort of like maybe like Punch Out, but you only see like the torso really, and you can, you know, each button kind of adjusts your guy to where you're either like ducking, like protecting your body or protecting your face. So you got to push the right buttons and stuff, which is actually pretty challenging. X-Men 2 Clone Wars. This one you pick your whatever X-Men you want to play as. I think there's like something going on, you know, obviously in the city, and you gotta I think like each character has its own path that you can take with it, which I think is really cool. It's got some good story to it. I'll definitely have to play this a little more. I only just played it for a few minutes just to make sure it worked and stuff like that, but still some pretty cool games. And we also got Dinosaurs for Hire. I remember Terry got this in a awesome pickup lot about maybe a year ago, maybe a little less than a year, but I just thought it looked super badass, and so when I saw this was in that lot, like that pretty much sold it for me. I mean, freaking dinosaurs with guns. Like who even thinks of that? I mean, how freaking badass is that? Gosh. Super freaking cool, guys. Awesome pickup. All for $10. Again, I will add. Man, this episode's all about the Genesis. This is from a different. This game is from something different. We got Revolution X, the Aerosmith Saving the World game. So I got this from a buddy of mine who works at so he does paintless dent repair at our body shop. He kind of travels around. And so I did some work on his car that he was wanting to restore. It was a CRX, Honda CRX, and I did all the prep work on it and fixed some primer spots and stuff like that. And so he paid me with this game, and which is pretty cool. It's Aerosmith. I still haven't played this yet, and I feel kind of bad that I haven't. I just, you know, haven't had a lot of time to pop this one in, I suppose, but. He had a lot of fun stories about playing this on arcade machines when it was, you know, when it was huge. So that's pretty cool. Revolution X. All right, so the next thing on the pickups list is stuff that I traded with Terry. So I traded him a copy of Madden 17 and Home Alone, and I threw in a Clue as well for the Genesis because I noticed he didn't have that. In return, he traded me a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Darkness. I haven't ever played a Mystery Dungeon game on the DS. Pokemon Red Rescue Team on the Game Boy Advance was one of my favorite games ever. So I'm interested to see how the newer Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games are. So we got Explorers of Darkness, and he hooked me up with Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door on the GameCube. I never actually played this, and Terry has this whole other box of stuff that he's holding for me to trade with him. So, and I finally ended up getting a few good pickups to where I could trade a few things towards it. So we got Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door complete, thanks to Terry. Gosh, awesome pickups, awesome stuff. All right, last but not least, you guys. So this was posted on Facebook for a decent price. I think it was originally listed for $60, and I didn't really want to jump on it then, so I kind of waited for the price to go down. So I got this for $50, and I think I feel like I got a good deal. We got the Halo Reach edition Xbox 360 with 2 controllers. For some reason they didn't have the controller, the battery packs, so I gotta find me some of those. I'm not sure if they're silver along with the casing around the edging, or if they're just black. So maybe I can figure out what shade of silver they are, and I can just spray some old ones so they match. Or I can just find some original ones at some point. But we got these and the console itself for $50. I got all this for $50. I thought that was a really good deal. You know, it didn't really go too all out with making it look like a Halo Reach, edition. Not quite as flamboyant as the Halo 4 or Halo 3 edition 360s. But I do like the silver, and I do kind of like just how the simplicity of it in itself. It is still really cool, and I'm glad that I added it to my collection. This will be my first limited edition 360 console, which is really cool. I've got 2 black 360s, and happy to add this one now. So yeah. So anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up the pickups, the second part of my pickups extravaganza. You guys aren't even gonna freaking believe what I got for the next episode. You guys have to stay tuned for this. You don't want to miss it. I will have it up soon. I just gotta record it. So anyways, you guys stay tuned. Take care. We'll catch you next time, and you guys gotta see what I got, okay? It's not gonna disappoint you. I promise you. I give you the Riley Nostalgia Lane guarantee oath, okay? Like this, you gotta see this pickup, you guys. Next time, here on Nostalgia Lane. Take care.